my stupid camera keeps on freezing.
That's all right.
BillyTKO.
What's going on, sir?
Dude, I'm a fan, you know?
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it.
Just being out here, being a mark for you, bro. Marking out.
No
Marking
way.
out.
Get out of town, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I do love hearing that. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, like the kind of stuff you do, it's like you have something that people describe me as having. They'll tell me about it and I won't understand it because it's me. Of course, I don't get it. But when
Trust.
when I watch your stuff and I hear you speak, I'm like, he's got likability. This guy.
I appreciate that, man.
Of course, I'd never understand it and see it in myself. But like when I see it in somebody else, I automatically want to like share platforms, you know?
Of course, man. Of course. Well, yeah, man. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Sometimes it's weird. Sometimes I forget like the internet is like a real place and like people can be impacted by the things that I do. I think it's very easy to live in your own personal bubble and not realize that maybe there's people out there that do resonate with the things that you do. So, I mean, thank you from the bottom of my heart. That does mean a lot, man, honestly.
We do very much have like there is like a bubble that we all kind of have that like we forget that there's like an impact on things we do and say because we're living in our own world and doing our own everyday single like lifetime thing. Like we were just talking about how much of a bitch it is to like rely on other people and how,
Absolutely.
like, to make not just rely on them, rely on the fact that you then are going to be able to line up how that will work. Is it like having to like rework everything on this? Like, you know, this is my last episode of the podcast. Perhaps not my last live, but it'll be my last. No, I think I'm doing one tomorrow too. Crap, but but like I'm not married yet, but I'll be married in 5 days.
Yeah, trust me, man. Like it's so hard lining things up sometimes and living in that bubble. It's so simple. Like I tell people all the time, like I'm just like this small town kid from, you know, Detroit, Michigan. Like it's hard for me to realize like that impact that can be had on other individuals, you know, because you're from PA, if I'm Pennsylvania, correct?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's hard for me to even fathom that I've even reached there. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We live in an internet world where it's so easy for people to be able to grasp onto somebody, and all it takes is one person to view it for their life to maybe be changed or something like that. And I'm not saying I'm out here changing people's lives by no stretch.
You could.
Correct.
Like,
you could.
Like, because you could, like, there's a couple, like, wrestling media people who I follow who I really like. Like, I like Wrestling Soup a lot. Do you know those guys?
Yeah. Yep.
So, like, Joey will have an opinion on something, and I'll be like, I never looked at it that way. And then I'll, like, go, oh, man, I should have, like, maybe I don't like that guy who I always thought I liked.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah. Exactly.
like,
It's so weird.
right. So it's not, like, life-changing, but it's, like, altering?
Yeah, for sure. You
Like,
know,
opinion altering?
Yeah, I do a podcast myself over on my channel, and I had a buddy who he's actually a sports creator, and he focuses more on like football and stuff like that. But we had a conversation yesterday, and we were talking about that, how like he's a new fan in pro wrestling, you know, versus somebody like me and maybe yourself as well, who's, you know, been watching for years on end, who really have delved into the business and really understand everything about the business and try our best to. He's very new to it, and he was like, you know, it's just so crazy how like my mind can easily be altered when just, you know, thinking out of the box is essentially what it is. And he was like, it's so weird because when you come into pro wrestling, you know, you think from like a very simple basis. You know, it's what you see on TV. That's it. And then you get into the world of pro wrestling, and then there's 20 different directions that you can take and 20 different other ways that you can go with something that's happening. And that's the crazy part about all of this.
When you shake the kayfabe etch-a-sketch, and you learn things are like it changes the way I look at every other. Like I got what we call in the inside of the business, we call that smartened up.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I gotten smartened up to wrestling. I probably probably in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So then it changes then how I look at movies. It changes how I look at politics. It changes how I look at sports,
Yep.
and entertainment in any way. At UFC, perform anything I look at gets seen through the eyes of like, how would I turn this into a spot?
Correct.
How would I dissect this? How could this, dude? This could be a money angle. This could be a money, like, it's just like a
Everything's an entertainment basis at some point.
right. Like,
Everything dials into entertainment.
if you've ever had any part of like any kind of creative team in wrestling, dude, that's so when you can come up with an idea like for a character and then they go with it,
Yeah.
and then the pieces lock in. You're like, oh, I did that.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
It's cool to like not just be on the talent side of it, but to be on the creative side of it and watch like how will this get over? What's the audience reaction going to be?
Absolutely.
When he says this line, wait for it, and like, dude, I have goosebumps thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
When a thing like a line you wrote in a promo comes out and the fans react the way they're gonna react, like oh, I knew I'd get him right there. And then it's the same in comedy where it's like when I'm on stage and I like start hitting a punch and I start watching the people. I start watching the people like start to understand it, and then like they pop just like in wrestling. It's the same exact thing about like watching that audience and hearing that audience and like knowing that you had a part of the creative, like the impact on that is really neat.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. It truly is. And even just, the idea that like, creative and everything like that, like with what I do and what we do, because you're essentially doing the same exact thing. You know what I mean? It's coming up with opinions. It's coming up with ideas. It's coming up with all these things. So, for me personally, I've never stepped foot in the back of in a creative room or anything like that, writing with these people, but I have a musical background. I come from music. So I've been a creative my whole life. I've always tried to think outside of the box in some stretch, some way. And it's so funny that like, we have this discussion about like getting people to pop and everything like that. That's kind of how you feel on the internet when people start commenting under things and when they start reacting, and it's very tiny, but you do get to see it in some type of stretch of like, oh man, they felt this way about this. Okay, well, let me try this and see if I can get them to react to this. It's
Right.
so funny. It is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not currently experiencing too much of that, but I look forward to more.
I'm
of
here
that.
to tell you because I do see everything that you're doing, and I just want to say like it is awesome. I don't think you're very far out of the realm, and I do, you give me those compliments, and I just have to give those same compliments back, man. I mean, you're somebody who not only has done the business as well, but are also trying to step into a world that, I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there are a lot of pro wrestlers that probably are not a fan of somebody like me for the critiques that maybe I offer or something like that. But the truth is like, I have so much respect for this business and I love this business. And of course, that's so easy to say. You know what I mean? Oh, I was a fan growing up, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, I was. I'm no different than that. But the difference is that I've delved my life into this. You know what I mean? And I must say, like, everything that you're doing is so respectable and so awesome. So maybe you don't have that feeling on the internet, but I know you've gotten to experience it in real life. And sometimes that's so much better.
I appreciate that, man.
Absolutely.
It's really cool to hearing that coming from you. That's really rad.
Absolutely, man.
I love to consider a source, and that being coming from you, that means a lot.
I appreciate that, man.
The idea of like constructive criticism or just criticism in any way of a thing you're doing, I wouldn't even say that you're like a dirt sheet person, like
No,
not in any way, like and then like the days of like, all right. So when I first got into the wrestling business, it was shamed upon to be a mark. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't be a mark. Like once you like crossed over into like you're now in the ring, you can't be associated with you can't appear as if you're also one of the fans because then you're not different than any of them. You're not us, you're them.
Right.
When I'm like, it's not it. The lines are blurred. Um, the 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 reason we got into this business was because we were marks for this business. There will never
That's
be
it.
bigger marks than the boys.
That's it. That's it, man. And like you said, being a pro wrestler, absolutely right. Like you guys are the biggest fans of this business. You love this business more than most individuals do because I'll be the first to sit up and say it. Do I want to take a bump? Yes, I do because I do this and I want to do it for the fact that I do this. You know what I mean? Is it something that I'm going out of my way every single day hunting down? No. The reason why is because I'm just a viewer at the end of the day. I didn't inspire to be a pro wrestler. I've always wanted to be. I'm a nerd, dude. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to everybody. I grew up on the internet. I've loved the internet. I think the internet can change lives in so many different ways. And I've aspired to do something in content. It just so happens. So again, kind of relaying back to that like musical background. I spent so much time being a music artist and really living inside of a recording studio. I've toured the country. I've done it all when it comes to the music side of things. And then you find out like, oh man, like none of this is really working for me the way that I wanted to. And just one random day in an Arby's parking lot, I'm reaching out to a friend asking him, hey man, do you think maybe I should switch to pro wrestling? I have a lot of love for it. Would it be weird if I did that? And then it turns into, no, man, like that's actually probably the best thing that you can do for yourself. And here I am 2 years later doing the things that I'm doing. And it's crazy, man. It's hard to believe that this is the life that I've ended up in.
I'd say if you had to give anybody any advice, you'd say go into the Arby's parking lot and make a phone call.
Absolutely.
That will be the right one.
Absolutely. I'm sitting in an Arby's parking lot, just finished my beef and cheddar, just got done with my curly fries.
Did you have the horsey sauce?
I am an Arby's sauce guy. I respect the horsey sauce, but I'm an Arby's sauce kind of guy. Now, at the time, they had mac and cheese bites too. They don't got those no more. Those were a problem. I had indulged in some mac and cheese bites at the time.
This could have been a sponsorship by Arby's. And
yeah, literally. Oh, for real.
It's really funny. As I was, remember I texted you. I said I'm peeing. I'll be right in there.
Yeah.
I was putting my contacts on in the mirror, and then I looked at the shirt I was wearing, and I was like, oh, like they're gonna think I support some Espolán tequila. I'm like, no, like my fiance works at bars, and she does the karaoke at bars, and they gave her as a promotion, they gave her the shirt, and she said that'll probably fit my fiance, and then she brought it home to me. But I'm telling you right now, Espolán tequila, if they would have given me the shirt, I would have shout you out so hard right now, but you blew
it. Yeah, that's how I feel about brand partnerships in general. Brand partnerships are so funny because
I don't know anything about Espolán tequila.
Yeah, that's what it is too. A lot of the times it's just people being like, hey, you'll just shout us out and maybe try to find something good to say about us. Yeah, sure, I'll try.
Yeah, I'm not in the world of brand sponsorship yet.
Trust me, you're going to get there.
My DMs are wide open.
Trust me, you are going to get there. I promise you that 1,000%. Because one day, randomly, you're going to wake up, a video is going to go viral. Suddenly, there's going to be somebody in your inbox. And then you're going to find out it's going to be one person and then 10,000 others that are all fake.
Yeah. Bots. A lot. Yeah. I get a lot of bots reaching out to me a lot.
Yeah,
you're not a real person.
Nope.
This is not this is a ploy to steal my data or something.
Boom. I tell people all the time, I grew up in the era where there was phones, and then I grew up in the era where there wasn't phones. This is the part of the internet that the young me starts popping out without the phone. I'm like, man, this is horrible. Why are you doing this? But you're going to steal my data.
Yeah. Billy, how old are you?
Me? I'm 28. 28 years old.
Oh, oh yeah. You're such a pup.
Yeah, so I grew up, like I said, so I was born in 98. So you got to think roughly from 98 all the way to, we'll say like 2000, 2005, 2006. You know, the internet wasn't really popping the way that it is now. I definitely grew up with a flip phone. You know what I mean? There was also a time where I didn't even know what a phone was. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of on that fence. I tell people I do fall under the Gen Z umbrella, but I'm the latest Gen Z that it gets.
Like
Um,
they call elder millennials for
yeah,
people who are my age. They're
yeah. And how
millennials,
old are
but
you?
elder. I'm 42.
Whew, I'm
The
kidding.
the first time I ever stepped into a ring and
Mm-hmm.
said this is what I'm going to pursue for the rest of my life
Mm-hmm.
was in 1998. I was
Wow.
14 years old.
Wow.
So just so we know, I've been doing this your entire life.
Wow. You were 14 in 1998, so you would have been a freshman in high school when I was born.
I was it was the summer before ninth grade.
Okay.
So yeah, that yeah, I guess that's a freshman in high school.
I
But
just.
in my school,
Mhm.
they in my school, high school didn't start till 10th grade. Like
Oh, okay.
ninth grade was the last year of middle school before high school.
Right, because they've changed that over years. That's
Yeah, it's
because
changed since
even when
for
I
sure.
started and I was going into middle school, I remember middle school started in 7th grade. And then once we kind of got into it, it started in 6th grade, like the year after me. And I was
Right.
like, oh, that's weird. Why are we adding the 6th graders into, into the middle school?
Right.
We don't need them. But yes, I mean,
Hey, we had to suffer for the last 3 years
right.
without having these gosh dang sixth graders.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But
Right.
that just makes me respect it even more because you're telling me that you have been doing this since 1998. That only
Yeah.
makes a person respect it that much more. That just shows love. If that's not dedication and love and passion, I don't know what is.
Thank you. I I I don't tell details of this story, but I'll tell you the story of there was a local newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
I found my first wrestling school in a local newspaper.
Phew.
They were training kids my age,
Mm-hmm.
and let's think about 1998. The biggest stuff was DX, Stone Cold Steve Austin, NWO. Like it was peak Attitude Era, and so these people were training kids, and they had that in the newspaper, a whole like write up in the newspaper about this place that was training kids to be pro wrestlers.
That's so cool.
And I was a kid, and it was we loved pro wrestling. So
Yeah.
me and my friends all went there, and we were like, we were too busy being marks for wrestling, and we were like, yeah, we're in it,
Yeah.
we're in it. But it was really this guy didn't even know what he was doing. He was like he was a dropout from another wrestling school who like built his own ring, and like and he was like a ticket seller for this guy before.
Oh,
So he
okay.
didn't he wasn't really like trained all the way and didn't know like he didn't really like teach us what to do. He just was like it was just like backyard wrestling with your friends in this like he would just like go do whatever you want to do in the ring.
Yeah.
Like and then there was no like training us or no and we were all like we're in the business.
I was about to say, at that point, you're just excited to be in the ring.
Right. We didn't think that we weren't getting trained right. We were like, yeah, we're wrestling. We're wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like,
At that point, you are. Yeah. Right.
That's it. So at that point, the guy was also drunk as shit every time he was
Oh,
there.
jeez.
So he would be smoking weed and he
Yeah.
would be drunk as shit, and then he would be telling his like sexual escapades to a bunch of children.
Children. Oh, my God.
And and on top of that, he was abusing us.
Oh, no.
So he would take kendo sticks and he would whap us with kendo sticks all the time, like, and it would be like we'd all be like marks for it.
Yeah,
but
of course.
he'd be leaving marks on us.
Right, exactly. Because apparently
And
that's quote unquote training.
right, yeah. So I the I guess whatever the situation was, the place got shut down,
Hmm.
illegal, blah blah blah. It like didn't have the correct permits or whatever, and it shut down. A couple of my friends that I made through that were both dudes named Rich.
Hmm.
The one Rich went on to be Discount Dewey Donovan, the manager of Nick Gage, and does like all death match.
Oh, no way. Yeah, Nick Gage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dewey Donovan, I met him back then,
Wow.
and Dewey Donovan started training at CZW, and the CZW school was in South Jersey. And the
Is
other friend,
CZW, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I have a little bit of insight. Is CZW, did Moxley spend some time there?
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I knew I wasn't crazy.
yeah, yeah. He okay. That I don't want to get into.
Yeah,
I don't want to
uh-huh,
get into the
yeah.
whole other parts.
Yeah.
But so CZW. This was like CZW wasn't even like on TV. Like now, it eventually at some point got on TV, and it was a big deal.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even on TV at this time. Like it was
Mhm.
just some wrestling school. So I went there, and also my other friend was Rick Feinberg. He was Rick Feinberg in CZW.
Okay.
He's my best friend. He's actually going to be the best man at my wedding in a
That's
couple days.
awesome. That's awesome.
So it's gonna be so Rick and Rich were both like, come over and be Dewey. Rich and Dewey were like, come train at CZW. You're gonna be good. Like, and then I came and trained at CZW. I mean, I got trained by John Dahmer and Eddie Valentine,
Wow.
and they eventually went on, to be a world traveled tag team.
Right.
VD was like
I
in
was about to
Japan
say.
and stuff.
Yep. Uh-huh. No
So-
way,
so-
man. That's an awesome
I-
story.
and I got to meet all these people when I was young, who like really changed the way I saw the world. You know what I mean? Changed the
Of
way.
course.
Like, and I'm still friends with some of those people that I met when I was Ian Knox. I don't know if you know who Ian Knox came to my bachelor party last night. He was it was so cool, and I did not. I mean, I texted him. I've always texted him for years.
Yeah,
but I didn't
yeah,
expect him to show up.
No
and,
way.
Kid Osborne was there.
Oh,
Niles
Kid
Young.
Osborne. Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And Niles Young, aka Nico Socio, former
was-
CZW World
Yep.
Heavyweight Champion.
Yep. Uh-huh. Yep.
He-
No way.
Yeah. It was all a roast. They were just making jokes about me.
Of course. Of course. That's what has to happen.
Because I don't do like your typical like, well, let's go to the strip club and stuff like that.
For sure.
This is not it's not like my favorite thing.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't really get excited about that
Yeah.
type of thing. It
Yeah,
kinda
I
makes
get that
me-
100%.
That makes me uncomfortable. Like I don't know.
It's so funny because I'm in the same realm. I mean, I'm very much like, let's go to like a baseball game or something like that and go get some drinks. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to run around the town. That's never been really who I am as a person. I don't really find enjoyment out of that kind of stuff. My enjoyment comes from just sitting down. From the sounds of it, you enjoy getting roasted. I've been doing that my whole life with my buddies. We can do that at any time.
Well, the other thing we were thinking about doing was we were thinking about going on a tubing trip. Where, like,
Oh, that'd be
just swimming
fun.
down the
Yeah.
river. But we couldn't get it lined up, and that's fine. I don't mind. Well, we'll eventually do that. It's not going to count as a bachelor party, though.
Yeah, here in Michigan, that's such like a big thing for us because up north and everything like that. Tubing is massive here.
I don't know if it's as big of a thing in Philly, but
So in our summers like that's it. I tell people I was a lake kid. I grew up on the lake, so I've just always kind of been surrounded by the lake. And everywhere you go in Michigan, all it is water. That is all it is.
so like the all summer long.
Yeah, the Kid
song,
Rock. Yep, it is
really-
1000%
You
factual.
identify with that all the way.
Absolutely. When that came out in 2006, I was probably one of the first listeners.
my beef with that song, I'll give it to you right now, and you can argue it or
Mm-hmm.
tell me it's a good beef.
All right.
We were trying different things. We were smoking
Okay.
funny things.
Yeah.
Why not another word that rhymes with things? Why things twice?
No, that's a valid beef. That's that's valid. That's valid. I don't know. Listen. So I mean, not that's fair. I can see why people would look at that and be like, yeah, why did he say that? I mean,
I've
definitely
never
didn't
heard
represent.
anyone else make that point. That's just my personal point. My personal beef with the Sweet Home Alabama all summer long.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. That's a solid beef. I can't even be mad at you over that one. Cause yeah, when that song came out, I remember it being like a massive hit, and then yeah, that line does particularly stand out.
Like, we could easily think of like, we could like list off like probably 5 or 6 alternatives to things again.
Yeah, absolutely,
We
absolutely.
were trying different things. We
We're
were
smoking.
having party flings. I don't know, like you could, we were eating boneless wings. Like
Drinking while we sing. I mean, there were a lot of other options that we had. There were a lot of other
there's like
options.
all those other options. Like, think about the writers' room where they're like, all those other options are too difficult, and they distract from the theme of the song of all
You
summer
know,
long.
I tell people that kind of stuff. So here comes my music background real fast. But with like the whole idea of rhyming the same word twice, it can work in a rap song. It doesn't work anywhere else because people notice it too much in like a country record, or they notice it too much in a pop record, or in a heavy metal record. Like people hear those things in those types of records because of how spaced out they are. You know, when you're saying things twice in a matter of 2 seconds trying to get these words out, in rap, it's very punch, 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 punch.
Right, right,
And you can kind of get away with it and hide it.
right. Because you're so on to the next thing
Right,
already.
exactly.
You're not focused on the fact
Exactly.
that they just use the same. And so many words have different meanings for them. Like for like the same word, means different things.
Yep.
Like uh, with rapping, you're just quickly hitting it and
Yep.
moving beyond.
That's exactly it, too. That is
But
exactly it.
there's no other meaning for the word things.
No.
Things is always things.
Yes, correct. That word is stuck at things.
There's no other word but
No.
things for things.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
We were trying different stuff. We were smoking buns and stuff.
I mean, there were so many other options and so many different directions that we could have taken. That's a fair beef. I can't even be mad at it.
There's other things in music. I'm not a huge music nerd, but I have like a couple points. I've never toured the country. That's pretty awesome that you have.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
But like there's different. I'm marrying a musician, so like,
Okay.
I'm becoming a lot more familiar with some rules and stuff that I didn't know.
Yep.
And like when she has an ear for things, she'll be like, "Do you hear that?" And I'm like, "No, sorry, I don't."
He said, no, nope, I didn't.
We don't listen to music the same way, dude. Sorry.
Yeah, but on Mondays, you're like, did you see that spot? And she's like, no.
Right. It's exactly like that. So then the one song is, Firework by Katy Perry.
Yeah, oh yeah.
When she says, then you go, and you shoot above the sky, sky. Wait, what is the word? Are you saying sky? And what was the
For.
What,
Yeah,
is
what
that?
was the for?
What was that?
It's just adding texture. I don't know
We're
how to
making
really.
sounds that rhyme with each other a little bit.
Right. It doesn't even. Man. Yeah. It's so funny because it's like pop music, country music. Like you really hear those, and it's so funny because like I've made pop music, you know what I'm saying? And I've probably done that. You know what I mean? Like I myself have done that. And then you hear it out loud and it's like, wait, people probably notice that. And that's probably why like people laugh. I was like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, yeah, I don't know if there's like a correct terminology for it or anything like that, but I do know that it's something that is seen quite often, again, in pop music, country music, things like that, because they're trying to overemphasize. It's kind of like Orange with Door Hinge. Like
Yeah.
we're really forcing something out here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Nobody says it like door hinge.
Yeah,
There's a
no.
bigger space there.
Correct. At that point, we're just forcing things out. Like, come on, what are we doing? Let's pick something different. That's all that is. 100%. 100%.
I do a lot. So I don't have like a structure format sort of thing for how I'm gonna run the show and
Sure.
questions that I'll
Yeah.
absolutely ask or
I love
anything
it.
like that.
I love
But a
it.
big thing that I do often on the show is I'll say I want to say some things to you that are on the record that are important for me to be able to have
Okay.
for me on the record to have me saying it because this stuff is outlasting us. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. It's forever.
sometimes I've had conversations here with friends who like I can't talk to anymore.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to have it on the record where I'm making sure I say a thing in this timestamp of right now and what this means, because right now we're both about to be married men. We're never
Yeah.
going to get this moment back right now, right here today.
No, sir.
So I would like to make it known that I'm happy that we're becoming friends, and I'm happy to be a resource to you in any way that I can be. Please don't ever feel like you are alone in this world, like you don't have a friend. I'll always be here for you. If you ever want to just call me and have a judgment-free conversation and tell me what's going on in your life, I'm all the way here for it. The currency of your effort and your time and your attention means way more to me than any dollars or cents. This is incredibly like how I feel, and I want to then make sure I say those things and then ask you if there's anything that you'd like to say or ask me on the record. Like at this point, I'm turning it around to you, and
Yeah.
anything you want to know from me, anything that like if I'm this resource to you, I might as well
sure.
I might as well open up and answer any questions that you've got for me.
So maybe it's not questions, but first of all, before I dive in any further, this is a good opportunity for me to say, number one, that's very rare in today's world. What you just did is very, very rare. We are two individuals that are just starting to recently get to know one another. And it's very cool that immediately you can have those emotions without being tied to knowing who somebody really is deep down. And I think that's something special and can be spoken about. And I must say that that's awesome. And that was probably the coolest thing that anybody has ever said to me, especially in this space. So I have to prop you for that. And I have to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. That means the world.
Yeah, man.
But
And
Go
I,
ahead.
and I really mean it. I'm
yeah,
not
and
just
that's
saying
what
it
I
for the internet.
that's the vibe that I get immediately from you is I didn't catch like a oh, I'm just saying this for the internet or anything like that. Like, no, dude, like people going out and saying like, oh man, like this is a judgment-free zone. Not everybody says that because some people are judgmental. Some people really will judge one another without actually knowing it. But the vibe that I catch from you immediately is that that's not the case. The case here is that it's judgment free. You ever need anything. But to be 100% honest with you, I don't know if I have any questions, but rather I just kind of want to follow up in the same sentiment in the sense of this world is I'm not sure if I can cuss here. Am I allowed to cuss?
You can say whatever you want, man.
All right, yeah, it's a tough motherfucking place, man. It's hard. And you bring up the idea of two married men. And yes, you are getting married. I myself am getting married. I just want you to know that as a friend, as now a fan, as now somebody who will be watching you for the foreseeable future, whether that be in pro wrestling, whether that be here on the internet, I do plan on continuing watching everything that you're doing and helping any way possible in any stretch that I can. I just want to say that I am proud of you. You work really hard, man. I see everything that you're doing. Do not ever let numbers discourage you in any type of way from what you're doing. It doesn't, I don't get that vibe from you immediately that you are discouraged, because you come on here with passion and enthusiasm and willing to just have a conversation. It's crazy to think that you're a pro wrestler, and we have barely spoken about pro wrestling through all of this. And this has been more of a human discussion. And I just want to say that that is probably the coolest thing in the world, because today you got to learn, and I'll be honest with you, you got to learn who Billy Davis was, not BillyTKO. And that means something to me, that I'm not just a face on the internet, and rather I am a human being who can make connections with other individuals. So thank you for humanizing a person in this space. That is awesome. And you're doing a tremendous job at that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you ever want to, I think it might be cool if we ever did like a live watch along of some wrestling.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And this is 100% honesty. If you ever want to have me on, I could bring you on one. It doesn't matter. I also do a podcast, so I'm not sure if you would be interested in maybe coming on. I do a podcast with my buddy Phil. He's another good friend of mine. We have our podcast, the Hot Tag Wrestling Podcast. You know, it'd be really cool to get somebody with the insight in the background that you have in pro wrestling. We would love to have you on, man.
That's such a cool name for a podcast.
Yeah, dude, it was actually my buddy Phil's idea. Phil had came up with the name. He had just kind of threw it out there. He was like, "What about the Hot Tag Wrestling Pod?" I was like, "Sure, yeah, that sounds good."
Bro, being in participating in that spot as the hot tag, if you know, like, the insides of a hot tag, like setting up with the double down.
Yeah, yeah.
When I first learned about a hot tag, I was in a hot tag and I was like, oh, the heels have to tag first. I didn't know that. The heels have to tag first. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So when I was crawling towards, I was tagging with John Dahmer, like early CCW, and I was going crawling towards him and reaching. My hair was all, and
You're feeling all the emotion.
I was selling, and the crowd was getting ready for me to make the tag, and Dahmer was standing there going, wait, and then I heard them make the tag, and then he's like, now, and then I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a hot tag was at that point, and like. The second I think about it and how the crowd, like, cause it roars, the crowd gets to a point, like, you get goosebumps thinking about it. And the fact that you have anything to do with it is so cool to think about. So the fact that that's, when you mentioned the name of your podcast, I automatically felt those feelings. Of
that's
being
awesome.
in a hot tag.
Dude, because I mean, and it's so funny as a viewer, you know, when the hot tag's happening, you know, the build, you see it, you get to feel it. And that's kind of the feeling that I guess we try to invoke on our show, is that same feeling that you get when building up to that hot tag. You know what I mean? And yeah, so definitely would love to have you on, man. I think that's so cool just to hear the stories and things of that nature. It's awesome. That is truly awesome.
On my stream, I think I'm doing this thing that I guess it's only for me, but whoever I talk as if 100 zillion people are watching, and I know it's only me there.
Absolutely.
And I go like when I'm watching something, I'm like, oh yeah, look, it's the double down, and like that's an inside term. Nobody knows that.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, they're doing the double down. Like, I don't know if you even knew what that was.
Nope.
Like that's a part when it's happening in the matches. I'm like, oh, that's the double down, and then the ref starts counting 1, 2, everybody get and then everybody's up. That's the double down. The double down is usually what leads to a hot tag.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
When both guys are down and
down,
the ref's like,
they're starting 1, 2. Right. Yep. It's the double down. They're both down.
Yeah. They're both down. We call that a double down. And when I'm watching it on my stream, I'm like, oh, that's double down. Like, clock it. Now you know that when you're watching it next time, you're gonna be like, Cory told me that's a double down.
Yep, exactly. Because now I'm definitely gonna go watch Monday Night Raw tomorrow, and I'm gonna wait for the hot tag, and I'm gonna be like, okay, they're doing it. They're doing they're doubling down. They're doubling down. It's the double down.
But
That's so cool. I do love learning the terminology. That's
there's
awesome.
so many other words and spots
Hmm.
that I could teach you, like
Hmm.
just through like like a tackle drop down spot. You'll see it 100 times, and
Yeah.
if you know that you're looking out for that every time, you're gonna see collar and elbow. Somebody does a headlock.
Yep.
They
Hmm.
do shoulder tackle, drop down, leapfrog, hip toss, arm
Awesome.
drag. And
Okay.
that's one of the first spots you'll learn as a
It-
wrestler.
that's insane. Okay, so they start there.
One of the first spots you'll learn, it's eventually come. We used to, when the days when I was getting trained, we called that a tackle drop down spot. But that eventually became known as the universal, and sometimes it's called the international.
Yeah.
So it's usually just a regular sequence, ta- collar and elbow tie up, headlock,
Throw them.
whip off,
Yep.
shoulder tackle,
Tackle.
drop down,
Down.
hip toss. Well, not you. This is why we throw in another thing we call reads to learn this more. In when I was training and what I was coaching, reads is like I throw you off the ropes and I don't say a thing. I'm gonna either throw a clothesline and you'll read what my body's doing and you'll know to duck that clothesline, or I'll throw in a back elbow and you'll read through my body language. Then I'm
That
gonna
I'm
throw a
going.
back
Yep.
elbow. Or
Okay.
I'm gonna do a drop down and you're gonna know by reading my language that you've got to jump over me, or I'll do a leapfrog. So I'll jump and you'll know to go under me.
So really random question. It's not all vocal then. So at some point, people are just naturally reading body language.
Sometimes it's muscle memory. Sometimes
Yeah.
it really depends on who was trained by who and what they taught them.
Wow.
It's hard for me to know because I know the way I got trained, and it was a long time ago. It's a whole different business than it was.
Yeah,
back then.
different system and everything.
But like, the fact that like, I say probably. I don't know all the way. I doubt it. It's I doubt how correct I am, but I think most of the wrestlers in WWE are overly produced. Someone else is calling their entire match
Okay.
and telling them move for move what they've got to do.
So
when-
you think they're in the back being told like this is the move that's
everything.
happening?
Like
Okay.
when you watch on what's the show called,
Unreal. Yeah.
and they'll be like, oh, now he's gonna do this and now he's gonna do that. Like there's somebody, and then like the ref's got an earpiece, like they know everything that's gonna happen next. So like if they're missing whatever, the producers, they have producers for each match. So these agents, when I did the stuff with WWE, Jamie Noble was the agent, and I was with Jamie Noble the whole day, and he comes up with the spots for the matches.
May I ask you a quick question one more time? Did you work?
You don't
did
have to raise your hand. You can just,
Did you work with WWE once?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was I just did extra work, which was like I showed up for it was they did a Monday Night Raw in her. It was actually Survivor Series, the one in Washington D.C. in 2009.
Okay. Yep.
And that was in Washington D.C. And then the next day was in Hershey, PA. That was Monday Night Raw.
Yep.
And then the next day was in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and that was for what was the ECW brand.
Yeah, WWE's version.
And SmackDown. Yeah.
Okay, so the double tapings.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And,
Yep.
and main event was in there as well. So they just had a couple extra guys. One of the other guys did a job to Lance Hoyt on ECW TV.
Yep. I remember Lance.
Who eventually went on to be Lance Archer. I think Lance Hoyt was called Vance Archer in WWE.
I'm pretty sure you're right about that.
Yeah.
That guy's dominating now. He's a monster.
Yeah, he is. But yeah, I remember having a really cool conversation with him during those spots and hanging out with him. I'm sure he forgets me completely. That's fully okay. I know anybody and everybody who had any conversations with me during that weekend doesn't remember me. They have had many single serving relationships with people a bunch of times.
See, you think that. That's very simple to think. It's very simple to think that maybe that is the case. But the truth is I've seen a lot of people that I've thought the same thing about. I've had conversations with, maybe it's musicians or whatever the case, where I'm like, oh man, they've probably forgotten about me. They've probably just kind of moved on. There's a local guy, another musician that did a lot of work. He's a pretty big artist now. He goes by Quinn 1992, Quinn XCII. He's from here in Michigan. He's a hometown guy. And he came into a place that I worked when I was younger. And, about 3 or 4 years later, I had ran back into him at the same place. And I obviously, at this point, he becomes a much bigger artist. And he's with Columbia Records. He's touring the country. He's doing everything under the sun, blah, blah, blah. And I have another conversation with him, and he immediately remembers who I am, remembers what I had showed him the day that I had spoke to him, remembers that I was nervous when I first spoke to him because he was eating with his family, and I didn't want to, when talking to him, I didn't want to disrupt that. You know what I mean? I don't want to ever be, I don't want to, these are human beings as well that we're all talking about here. Right. But the fact that he was able to remember that after being signed to Columbia Records, going on numerous shows, all these things, it's very easy to think that maybe these people forgot about us. But I'll tell you right now, the conversation that you and I have had today makes me know that this is a conversation that I'll never forget, because there has been very subtle things that maybe will play an impact on my life moving forward. So That's why I always tell, and that's one of those things where it's like, you never know how you may have impacted somebody. It's simple to say that.
I know there's been so many times where people have come up to me and they'd be like, "Oh, I used to see you at these shows. We had this really long conversation about Sprite," and I'm like, "I don't remember that." Yeah. How am I supposed to remember that from 20 years ago of us having a conversation about Sprite in a parking lot?
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I don't remember. I meet 1,000 people every day, and it's not. I get it. So when some people, I've had amazing conversations with a lot of people that weekend when I worked at WWE 17 years ago.
Yeah.
And I looked 100% different than I do now. I mean, I was a kid,
Yeah, for sure.
So it makes sense that some people wouldn't remember me.
Of course.
Of course I remember it because I was there. You know what I mean? I'm not normally at the WWE.
Right, exactly. That was an impactful moment for you.
Right. So we couldn't have our cell phones at all with us.
Yeah.
So we had our phones locked up in our bags. We didn't get to walk around with our cell phone, and we didn't even have smartphones yet. It was I had a flip phone maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking what, 2009?
Yeah.
It was still probably flip phones and stuff like that.
And I remember texting with Adam Cole the whole weekend.
Okay.
And he wasn't anybody yet. You know what I mean? He was just like a CZW guy at that point.
Yeah.
It's of course I'm gonna heavily remember these moments more than the people. I'll give you a couple silly excuses.
Okay.
So I had lunch. And one of the days I had lunch with Mike Rotunda.
Okay.
And he was talking to me about life, and we were talking about the wrestling business and some stories and things like that. And I'm sure he wouldn't remember it. I'm sure he's had 100 zillion different conversations with different extras from all different towns all over the country.
Yeah.
There's no way he'd ever remember having a conversation with me and having lunch with me that day. And one of those days, I also had lunch with Big Show. I just sat with Big Show at catering, and I told him about movies, and we talked about movie quotes and things like that. There's absolutely no way he remembers that.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fair.
Right. He had, at the time, his knee was hurting. He had his knee up.
Okay. Yep.
And he went to catering and got a whole bunch of he had 100 plates in front of him at catering.
Oh.
And he said, I don't know when he sat down at our table
Hmm.
and he was putting all his plates down. He said, "Yeah, so I'm just here eating my feelings. Just here eating my feelings." Uh, and I laughed so hard. And I said, "I just saw this movie called Four Christmases."
Hmm.
And he was like, I asked, had he seen it? And he said, no. And in the movie, it's like Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
And they like go to each of their parents has a new family, and they have four different Christmases that they got to go to.
Okay.
And at one of the families, it was a younger picture of Reese Witherspoon, and she was really heavy, and it was like on the mantle. And when Vince Vaughn pulled it off the mantle, he was like, "That's you?" And she's like, "Yeah, I ate my feelings." And he's like, "Yeah, you got a lot of feelings." And I said that to Big Show.
Y-
I told him about that line in that movie. Uh, I'm sure he never saw the movie. I'm sure he never like it never. It was never a thing. He was never like, "Oh wow, funny. You're a
Yeah.
good one."
Right.
You know,
Right.
right?
That's still so cool though. Like even having those stories, I think is awesome. I just want to mention that. That's so cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. I must ask, did you this is now I'm just asking questions to ask questions at this
Well,
point.
please, like we could probably ask questions back and forth with each
Yeah,
other.
right.
Yeah.
With it, when you were on WWE TV, or let me ask, what was the extra work that you were doing? Were you on TV?
I stood in the background of promos, talking to people from the back of my head.
Oh, okay.
Probably, I was in the background of like a CM Punk promo. I was in the back of like a Vicky Guerrero promo, a Batista promo. Like
Okay. All right.
nothing anyone would have ever seen.
Yeah.
Or knew it
Okay.
was me.
Okay. Being close to CM Punk, I'm a big CM Punk mark.
Me too.
I'm a big Punk guy. I'm a huge Punk guy. I would have marked out 100%.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had, and this is another funny thing I'm talking about. I had met CM Punk at the arena back in 2003.
At the ECW arena?
Yeah, and we met in the locker room at the arena when the arena was still set. When it was the locker room in the ECW arena back in the day when it was still like the way the building was when it was ECW's building.
Yeah.
The locker room was just all these tables. It was just all these tables in a big bingo room. And he came back. I remember he came back and came up and introduced himself as Punk. And I said, "What's up, I'm Cory." And then he said, "The next guy next to me was my friend, my trading partner,
Yeah.
Chris Cash." And he introduced himself to Chris Cash as Punk. And he was like, "Punk, I'm Chris, but you can call me Cash because you introduced yourself as Punk. You can call me Cash." And then he said, "Punk, huh? Like punk ass bitch." And then Punk was like, "Yeah, yeah." He blew him off
Yeah.
because like Chris was nobody. Like he wasn't somebody that had any impact on anybody. So like,
Still so
I mean,
wild.
he did have a lot of impact on people. Like, R.I.P. Chris Cash, you were my friend. I loved you and everything. But like, as far as like on the business at that time and on
Yeah,
the
for sure.
direction
Absolutely.
of talent coming in and out.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely understand that. But yeah, man, those CM Punk. I mean, that's that guy. I mean, he's played such an impact in my life. My stepdad passed away, and it was right before right before CM Punk came back to AEW after the long hiatus.
Right.
CM Punk, the rumors obviously at that time were starting to swirl, and they were swirling heavy about him returning back. And I remember my stepdad, one of our last conversations, my stepdad, he was a huge mark for pro wrestling. He loved pro wrestling and he loved it just as much as I did. And that's kind of maybe how I ended up doing what I'm doing now, because him and I both had so much love for this and we would talk about it all the time.
Right.
But he was like a non-believer. He was like, yeah, dude, like CM Punk's not coming back. Like there's no chance in the world that CM Punk's coming back. Like it's not going to happen. That dude's done with pro wrestling. It's over for him, blah, blah, blah. And then, so my stepdad died on August 4th, 2021. It was 2 weeks later on Rampage when Punk came back. And that's, you know, that guy and just everything that he's done and the impact that he's had. I think that's why he holds such a special place in my heart, if you will. It's because of my stepdad.
Yeah, I mean, Punk was like a cool like inspiration because
Yeah.
like he was not like, and I could self-identify as not your body guy, not your cool
Hmm.
jock type, not your
Right.
like and you uh, he came and debuted, and he got signed to WWE when he was like in his 30s, and they weren't doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Like they were only signing young people, and
Hmm.
like he kind of like he is probably 3 or 4 years older than me. I don't know. He's not. I mean, I don't know. He's not much older than me, but
Yeah.
it made me feel a little bit inspired to see him doing that
I
kind
was
of stuff.
about to say, for guys, I mean, because even guys like Adam Cole, I look at Adam Cole as another one who, was never really supposed to have any like major impact on the business when you think about it in the long stretch of things. And then he ends up the Undisputed Era. It becomes like the biggest thing in the, for what, like 4 years in NXT. It was massive. And then all the work that he did in AEW, the debut that he had in AEW, like all those things I remember about Adam Cole. And it's like, that guy was never supposed to do this because the business had told us for so long that guys like yourself, are just quote unquote too small. And it's like that thing, it doesn't exist anymore. And I'm actually happy that it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny, man. At my roast last night, one of the jokes was about how when Adam Cole broke in, everyone thought he was me. Everyone would get him confused. Like he would get called me all the time. People would think that he was just a young me, and
Yeah.
like he would get mistaken for me. And then, like my old tag partner, Bomboy, would always go up to him and be like, "Hey, Core," and he'd like grab him by his shoulders, like, "Oh, never mind. Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought
Wrong
you were."
guy. My bad.
Yeah. And one of the roast things was like, "Can you believe that guy ever was second to you?" Like or something similar, something stupid, roasting me that way. And I was like, and I was thinking about how Matt Bomboy was. We were in a tag team together called Team New Era.
Okay.
It was me and Matt Bomboy, and we teamed together a lot. And we did a lot of really big, fun, cool things in tag team wrestling. So
Yeah.
once again, talking about that hot tag.
Yeah. Right. I was about to say,
We
you
did a
definitely
lot.
understand.
We did a lot in tag team wrestling, and we started Team New Era, and then we had the little skulls and the TNE shirts.
Yeah.
And we were on a couple like small indies, very like less known indies. We were doing TNE, and we were always adding people in. It was like a lot like a NWO
Yeah.
kind of faction.
Yeah.
Where we were the main parts of it, but then there were adjacent members and other people keep coming in and out. And one of those members that we had come in one time was Luke Gallows.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Luke was a part of TNE one night, and he got a TNE shirt, and then right after Luke joined the Bullet Club, they got their logos and everything was just like ours.
No way.
So TNE was not, I don't want to even say stolen, but it was definitely part of what became the Bullet Club.
Maybe there was some inspiration behind everything.
And then Adam Cole was a part of the Bullet Club.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt Bomboy was like, how funny is it? Everybody compared you to him, and then he joined the Bullet Club, which stole your logo, and then he joined the Undisputed Era, which stole your era thing.
Yeah.
He can't get away from wanting to be like you, this kid.
Oh, that's funny. That's good. That's good.
But
Oh.
I fully I've had a lot of conversations, I've had a lot of interactions, I've had matches, I've had memories with a lot of people who you've probably seen on wrestling TV.
That's awesome.
Like I love that my impact on the business is just not just. I don't want to say just because I don't want to minimalize anything.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Right, but it is a lot of like playing a part and showing somebody how to get over.
Yeah.
Because that's something that you can't you can't learn without hands-on experience.
Right. Exactly. Somebody has to have that experience.
Right. So like a little bit of like some of the people like just have had and get an idea for psychology. Like I love teaching psychology and how like this spot fits into that spot and see how we teased this here, then we paid it off there. Like there's
Yeah.
a lot of ring psychology that I know I had the ability to teach someone who had no idea about.
That's so
And
cool, though.
and like I say this a lot, and I say it with all humility. I've become somebody who I never thought I'd be. I've been in more locker rooms and have forgotten more about pro wrestling than most people will ever know.
Wow.
Like there's been things that I've been a part of that I forgot about that like maybe changed somebody's life at some point.
Yeah. Well, I guess like you said, running into so many locker rooms.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that I've ever had any kind of impact like that on anything.
Yeah. Like I said, man, I do believe that is something that you have probably done, considering, like I said, before I came on here, I checked out your cage match just to kind of see, and I'm like scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Telling me I was a jobber. Like, look at this jobber. He's got a low rating on Cage Match.
Yeah, I mean, just regardless of the fact, I was just scrolling through it, and I'm like, man, like this guy worked. Like this guy was a worker.
Yeah,
it's respectable.
But it is such a level lower in obscurity because it's so obscure and none of those things had massive audiences.
Right.
So like massive audiences will pretty much think that didn't even exist.
Right.
You know what
exactly.
I mean? Like,
exactly.
So like what Cage Match is and what like opinions of what a lot of times I'll get people reviewing stuff I did when I was like a teenager. I'm like, yeah, I got a lot better since then.
Yeah, like it's only gotten better, I promise you.
Right. Like I don't know what to tell you. I was 18 when that happened. I'm an adult now.
Right. Yeah.
I was a teenager. It was in my name.
Yeah.
I was a teenager.
Yeah. That's so funny. That is.
17, 18, 19. Those are the years that you're still a teenager and you're
Yep. Like, absolutely.
And it's going to be really bad before it ever gets really good.
That's right.
I mean, dude, it was bad. Like I don't think I was good at wrestling until like 2007 maybe. Like
yeah, and by that point you're almost 10 years in.
Yeah, and I was still bad.
Right.
Like I still was nervous all the time. I was still unsure like I did a match in early 2007 at the Can you hear me still?
Yes, sir. Yep.
I did a match at the ECW arena in 2007, early 2007, and I had a. It was bad.
Yeah.
But I did a like a reaction retrospective, and Matthew from Botchamania and I just talked about it on this podcast. We made a whole like Wicked Hanuman special. We just like went over match by match on that show.
Yeah.
Like how bad that was because it was like Test was on that show.
Oh Lord, Test. Yeah.
Sanjay was on that show.
Sanjay Dutt.
Sanjay, Low-Key, Ruckus, and Black G's.
Low-Key. Oh man, every time I hear about Low-Key, I always think like that guy was a menace.
When I did the extra work in WWE, he was up there, and I think he did a dark match. But before the show, we were working out together in the ring, and we were talking and chatting, and he was a really nice guy.
That doesn't shock me. But that man, anytime I seen him in a ring, he was doing some crazy shit, man.
No, but like when I met him
Yeah.
before, like I said, I looked like a young boy for a long time. I didn't look
Yeah.
like a grown man.
I
Uh,
get it.
and I was not memorable. Was not like I wasn't I wasn't very vulnerable. I didn't speak my mind a lot. Like people, I didn't have opinions. I didn't have like strong takes. Like I eventually got to that point. Like now I'll speak up. Now I'll say this is why I don't. This is why I've gotten fired from quote unquote fired, not booked anymore in a lot of wrestling companies because like when they
You'll
ask me how
start
I feel
speaking your
about
mind.
something, when they ask me how I feel about something, I'm going to tell them how I really feel, and they don't want to hear how I really feel. They just want to hear that they did a really good job.
Right.
And that's
Exactly.
not what you're going to get from me. I'm not everybody else who's just
Right.
here to yes and you. I'm here to help you improve.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's called evolving, darn it.
There it is. Evolving. That's so funny.
Okay.
There we go.
So, just a couple more things, and I'll send you off into the sunset with a hot dog and a handshake. Sounds good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, I do a segment on the show that I call audio time travel. So
Okay.
going where I'm talking about how this is a timestamp on right now today, what our life is like.
Yeah.
So this is going to outlive today, of course.
Of
So
course.
let's say 20 years from now,
Mm-hmm.
somebody who cares about you the most, dude, you're about to get married. Your wife comes across this recording. Your kids, they come across this recording. The people that you care about the most come across this recording and are hearing a timestamp from right now, who you are right now. That's going to be a message that hits their ears that are like they're adults at this point, or they're 20 years in the future from now. What are
Yeah.
you saying to them?
So the people that I care about the most, I have my fiance, and then I also have my stepdaughter. My stepdaughter, she is special needs. She deals with cerebral palsy. Might even catch a tear here, so bear with me a moment. So if Aubrey, we'll start there. That's my stepdaughter. If she ever hears this, I just want her to know that I'm so happy that I've been blessed to find my way into her life. And she has changed mine in so many different ways that maybe I can't even describe right now. But she has been the best part of my life. I came into her life when she was 8 years old. She's about to be 10. And I came in very, very late. And she has helped me for a kid who my grandmother passed away, and I thought when my grandmother passed away, like there was going to be nothing left for me. Like that was like my rock and everything like that. And she passed away, and I was like, man, I'm not going to find happiness anymore. Like, where am I going to find it at? And I eventually found it in her, and I just want her to know that I am utterly proud of her, and to my fiance as well, who I am getting the pleasure to marry very soon. She is the rock that I never knew I needed. She is the coolest person on planet Earth. She deals with everything that I do here, and she makes sure that, dinner's done some nights, and she tries her best to understand everything about me, even when it's tough. So those would be the two people. And also to my mother. Shout out to my mom. She's another rock of mine. But those would be the people that I hope hear this and hope know that I have their back forever. As long as I'm around, they got me. And I'm going to continue to be somebody's annoying internet mark talking about pro wrestling. So as long as I can make sure that those two are okay.
Talk about wrestling.
Nah, I'll talk about wrestling all day if it means
Yeah.
it's going to make sure that there's food on her table.
I would like to make food on the table amounts of money from wrestling.
It's yeah, and that's so funny, dude, because it's true. I have found a way to. Of course, I get help. Don't even let me sit here and lie. I'm not making the buco bucks, but I found a way to make a living off of this and talking about pro wrestling, and it is the coolest thing in the world. And I have the pleasure of being able to say that that's what I do.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. I respect it so much because it's so creative and it's like you found a way to bottle up your what am I doing with all my creator energy
Yeah, that's really what it
and
was too.
you put it into something you're familiar with, something that
That's
you're passionate about, and
absolutely.
I respect that. I'm inspired by it. I'm very
Thank you,
inspired
man.
by
Thank you. I have so much love for this business, just as much as everything else. Like this business means the world to me. I talk about it in a way that like my life has been impacted by the things. Memories have been made, friends have been made, all through this one thing that all of us have found a way to enjoy. It's the reason why we're having this conversation right here, right now. The reason why I was able to say what I've said, the reason why you were able to say what you said, all stems back to pro wrestling, brother.
it.
Good
We're
old pro
I,
wrestling.
I say this line all the time, and you can use it because
Hmm.
it's how I truly feel. We're the dreamers that are selling dreams to dreamers.
Ain't that the truth?
Yes,
Ain't that the truth? I
yes.
like that. That's good.
Dream on.
Yeah, dream on, baby.
But yeah, I mean, I I've got a lot of therapy out of having this platform, out of being able to talk with people about what they've gone through and like what I can learn from everything is evolving. Everything is like the growth behind uh, what the hard parts were because
Hmm.
man the hardest struggle parts like I said, talking about how bad of a wrestler I was before I ever got good,
Yeah,
uh, and I got good to the point where like uh, only a small audience ever got to see how good I actually
it
was,
was right.
and now I don't have matches anymore. Now you know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah.
just a obscure whoosh of fleeting time, and now
Hmm.
it's like, oh, okay, well, like it was all at that point. It was pay to play business. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it would be like I would okay, I would drive to Delaware
Yeah.
and only make up enough money to put gas in my truck and come back.
Wow.
So I'd sacrifice a whole Saturday's worth of pay doing anything else
Yeah. Just to
to
wrestle.
just to do that and
Hmm.
not make anything off of it. There's been times like I honestly I told this story on here before, but I'll tell it to you again because I think you'll appreciate it.
Hmm.
In 2008, I remember uh, getting booked to do a show in some little league field at a middle school in southern New Jersey, and I got paid in pizzas. I took an unprotected share shot to the head, and I left with a week's worth of pizza. So, yeah,
I'm walking out of here with something.
you have to get because, bro, I had a promoter stiff me on money many times,
Yeah.
but one of the times I walked back out to my car, came back in, stole all their sodas, put them in my trunk. I stole all the sodas from that venue.
Dude, so independent promoters are really like that?
Yes,
He said, oh, yeah.
oh, I've had so many times where promoters like, "Oh, Mike didn't tell you it was a charity show. All the money from the show, the whole
It's all
show,
being donated.
it's all being donated to this charity. You totally. I'm sorry, dude." And I'm like,
Oh,
what?
no.
Like, I got to, like, I'm in, like, let's say that booking hypothetically was in Hamburg, Pennsylvania,
Hmm.
and I have now a 3 hour drive ahead of me to get back home here.
Yeah.
And it's like, and and I just kind of wasted my day, like for nothing. That was right after that happened. I remember that exact show was 2018. They pulled that. Oh, nobody told you that this was a charity show, and the guy who booked you for this doesn't work here anymore. That's what they told me. And
The guy who booked you doesn't work here anymore.
so so I went I went home. I actually was with my brother and my friend Ash, and we stopped at like a mountainside diner where everything
Yeah.
was cheap, and it was like raw Hicks.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and I remember saying, I took an insecurity to the head, like, and I got nothing, like, and
Nothing.
I, and I was like, I remember going, I'm gonna finish out my bookings for the rest of the year, and then I'm done. And that was in 2018, and then I didn't go anywhere because I'm still a mark for the business.
Yeah, it's hard
So
to at that point.
it's all of it is pay to play, and like that's a I I don't want to say like, oh, it all sucks, because it doesn't suck. It's not the worst. There are a handful of carnies who suck.
Yeah, for sure.
And everything that I see and everything I do and everything I am and everybody who I love and am inspired by all has something to do with seen through the lens of pro wrestling and what pro wrestling has taught me. So I would live this life for a really long time being bitter at, like, I've given all my love to wrestling and wrestling's never loved me back, but it has for sure loved me back. The fact that it's taught me everything about myself that I wouldn't have
Correct.
otherwise learned.
Correct. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great way to put it too. That's amazing.
Do you do any impressions at all, Billy?
Oh man, do I have any good impressions? I'm trying to think. Who can I? No, I can't say I have any like crazy talent like that. I wish I did.
I'll let you think about it.
Okay.
Now, this is the way we wrap up the show.
Okay. Okay.
This is the way we wrap up the show. Is I like to pretend that I have hypothetically gifted you this show, so it's evolving with BillyTKO now. This is your pilot episode of
Okay.
your new podcast.
Okay.
In a very Jerry Springer's final thought type of way, the most valuable takeaways that people can be evolved from listening in on this conversation and be a better version of themselves tomorrow. What messages are you giving them?
So for individuals that maybe have heard this episode already and what they could possibly take away from it is essentially what it is, correct?
Yeah.
If that is the case, never judge a book by its cover. Number one, I think that's one of the biggest things. Again, it goes back to who I am. I'm a person on the internet, and I get called names. I've been called everything under the sun, but a lot of people don't know my real life. And I feel like today, for many people who maybe listen, maybe got to learn a little bit about who Billy TKO actually is, because Billy TKO is actually just Billy Davis. You know what I mean? So I think that would probably be one of the biggest takeaways. The other big takeaway, I think, would be don't be afraid to ask questions. I think today I asked a lot of questions that maybe I wouldn't always ask, you know, and had conversations that maybe I wouldn't always have. When you go into something like this, and a lot of the times, I was invited on the show today. That's very kind. But in some cases, I was able to ask questions to you as if maybe I was running the show. Never be afraid to just ask questions and have a conversation. And then also, the last and final thing is to make sure that you love everybody, even on times or at times when it's hard. And no, I'm not talking about loving legitimately everybody, but love the people that you're close to.
Right, but also, like, you need everybody to be what they are so that you can be what you are.
Correct.
So you love them with the same unconditional nature that you love yourself. Where
Correct.
it doesn't necessarily mean because you love them, you have to see them every day, you have to talk to them every day.
Correct.
You just are somebody who you love them and they love you. That's fine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 1000%.
So back to those impressions. Normally, I usually say whatever your best impression is.
Okay.
We will wrap up by the guest saying in their best impression the phrase that ends the show, which is "Be fun, have safe, keep evolving."
Be fun, have safe, keep evolving.
Yes.
I mean, I got like a Sopranos one I can maybe throw out.
Oh yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, let's say be fun, have safe, keep evolving. That's probably the best one I got. That's
Yeah,
probably the best I
yeah.
got.
Dig it, dig it.
Yep.
I'm marrying a South Philly Italian girl,
Okay.
so
Okay.
she's got high standards on her.
I'll tell you what, I'm a big Tony D guy.
Hey, bet.
Yeah.
Dude, this has been a blast, and I
Thank you so
appreciate
much,
your time
man.
and effort. I appreciate the currency of your time and effort, and you spending it with me here today. And you know, this is just the first time. We could do this 100 more times.
Absolutely, man. You just let me know. I'll shoot you a message. We can figure something out over on our end as well. We would love to have you, man. Thank you just so much from the bottom of my heart in this first episode. It's been amazing.
Everybody, if this is your first time checking out Evolving, go back in the archives. This is the 380th episode. So
That's crazy.
There's plenty of archives. If you let, what's funny is when you talked about don't be discouraged by the numbers. I looked at that like I have an archive. So like the numbers might be like smaller on some things now, but like when the other things start, like that stuff will all be bingeable. You know what I mean? Anyone can
Correct.
any of that stuff.
You're building an archive. It's no different than a WWE tape library, brother.
Right.
You
So
can go back and look.
hopefully, I sound like that John Mulaney bit when he talks about Donald Trump being what a hobo's vision. Of, when my ship comes in,
Yeah. Yeah.
but like when my audience all the way finds me, they'll have something they could go binge back on. They could see. I mean, everything's topical. Not everything's topical. A good amount of it is like a reaction to a thing that happened on the main event of Raw that week.
Right.
It doesn't mean that it isn't still evergreen. You know.
Correct. Exactly.
And I just got to have grace knowing that I'm building something that somebody will wanna.
You are, man. You are. You're a very kind person. I learned that today. So I'm here to tell you, if my audience sees this, which they should, must say, this has been a blast. This has been a hell of a conversation. This has been everything that I expect individuals to be. So that's a big prop to you. And if that's any reason for people to go binge watch Evolving, that would be it right there.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Everybody, like, follow, subscribe, do all those things. Say hello to your mother for me. Tell all your friends about me. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Always remember to be, to have grace with yourself. Be fun, have safe, keep evolving.